Welcome to the Freedom from Religion Foundation's annual Winter Solstice Party. This is our third annual event in the Charlie Brooks Auditorium here at our newly expanded Freethought Hall in Madison, Wisconsin. And we used to hold this event in the Wisconsin State Capitol, but the acoustics are much better here. I'm Annie Laurie Gaylor, Freedom from Religion Foundation co-president. And I want to welcome you to this event to celebrate the natural holiday with us. And welcome, too, if you are joining us on Facebook Live. We want to share the real reason for the season with as many people as possible. And I want to thank the Freedom from Religion Foundation staff, and you can tell who's a staff member by their badge. And they'd be glad to help you after the program with any questions. And we are also glad to help you with any last-minute winter solstice shopping. From 1:30 to 2, if you take the elevator down to the lower level, which is a B in the elevator, we have solstice cards and gifts. And I also want to thank our webcast crew, led by FFRF's videographer, Bruce Johnson, who you can't see, he's in the studio, with production help by Greg Happ, Maya Erickson, Lauren Searing, and we have audio help from Buzz Kemper and Audrey Martinovich. And I think you found the hot beverages and all of the hors d'oeuvres. And as usual, we've ordered too many cookies. We're always optimistic. So we'll be putting out sandwich bags and plates, and you can feel free to take some home and share with your family. The Freedom from Religion Foundation traditionally takes a full-page ad in the New York Times around the season of the winter solstice, and it should run tomorrow, which is the real solstice. Today is a day early, Solstice Eve. And I'm going to give you a sneak preview. And of course, it'll be bigger than this. And basically, we're giving President Trump a big lump of coal for his record on the First Amendment. And this shows the stockings that he is giving. He is awarding religious vouchers, cabinet zealots, church politicking, and a stacked judiciary. And of course, Trump is giving coal to a lot of things, including women's rights, LGBT, Planned Parenthood, Muslim immigrants, and civil liberties. So this ad is asking to give a gift to support a secular new year. And some of you have seen our Bill of Rights nativity before. And this, of course, is in the Wisconsin State Capitol. It's in the Iowa State Capitol. It's in the California State Capitol. You won't find it in the Texas State Capitol because Governor Greg Abbott, when we had a permit, removed it. And this fall, we just got a federal court victory saying he couldn't do that. He is appealing, but we hope next year we'll be messing with Texas. And of course, the Bill of Rights was December 15th, and we think that's an appropriate thing to celebrate at the seat of government. And it's the Founding Fathers and the Statue of Liberty gazing very adoringly at the Bill of Rights, the baby Bill of Rights. And we also have something new this year, which if you drive by or walk by in the evening, you'll see it in the Rose Urwick Memorial Courtyard on this side of the building. And it's a giant 8-foot A. It's the Dawkins A, which stands for atheist or agnostic. And it's lit up, and it looks very pretty. And speaking of lawsuits, I just want to brag a little bit that the Freedom from Religion Foundation is on a roll this year. We have had 9 victories, either court decisions, settlements, or major actions in ending violations with our litigation. And we can take a moment to be glad that the Johnson Amendment has not been repealed in the tax bill. And we worked very hard on that. So in a moment, we're going to be treated to a very secular winter solstice concert and celebration featuring vocalist Susan Hofer and FFRF's Dan Barker. But first, we do have a traditional reading. It does not come from the book of Luke. It comes from our Heathen's Greetings non-tract. And it was primarily composed by FFRF's principal founder, Ann Gaylor. And I'm not going to ask you to bow your heads while I read it. Away with the manger and in with the solstice. For a fact, the Christians stole Christmas. We don't mind sharing the season with them, but we don't like their pretense that it is the birthday of Jesus. It is the birthday of the unconquered Son, Dies Natalis Invicti Solis. Christmas is a relic of sun worship. For all our major festivals, there were corresponding pagan festivals tied to natural events. We've been celebrating the winter solstice, this natural holiday, long before Christians crashed the party. For millennia, our ancestors in the Northern Hemisphere have greeted this seasonal event with festivals of light, gift exchanges, and gatherings. The winter solstice is the reason for the season. Of course, it's December 21st this year, and it heralds the symbolic rebirth of the sun, the lengthening of days, and the natural new year. We non-believers are quite willing to celebrate the fun parts of anybody's holidays. We just want to be spared the superstition, the smolts, and the state church entanglements. The customs of this year endure because they are pleasant customs. It's fun to hear from distant family and friends, to gather, to feast, to sing. Gifts, as freethinker Robert Green Ingersoll once remarked, are evidences of friendship, of remembrance, and of love. The evergreens displayed now, as in centuries past, flourish when all else seems dead and are symbols, as is the returning sun, of enduring life. In celebrating the winter solstice, we celebrate reality. And now, when President Trump says this year we will be saying Merry Christmas, here's what he really means. Take it away, Dan, from South Park.
So in South Park, the song is called something else, but we're calling it Merry Frickin' Christmas because this is a family event, so. I heard there is no Christmas in the silly Middle East. No trees, no snow, no Santa Claus. They have different religious beliefs. They believe in Muhammad and not in our holiday. And so, every December, I go to the Middle East and say, hey there, Mr. Muslim, Merry frickin' Christmas. Put down that book, the Quran, and here's some holiday wishes. In case you haven't noticed, it's Jesus' birthday, so get off your heathen Muslim ass and frickin' celebrate. There is no holiday season in India, I've heard. They don't hang up their stockings, and that is just absurd. They've never read a Christmas story. They don't know what Rudolph is all about. And that is why in December, I'll go to India and shout. Hey there, Mr. Hinduist, Merry frickin' Christmas. Drink eggnog and eat some beef and pass it to the missus. In case you haven't noticed, it's Jesus' birthday, so get off your heathen Hindu ass and frickin' celebrate. Now I heard that in Japan, everyone just lives in sin. They pray to several gods and they put needles in their skin. On December the 25th, all they do is eat a cake. And that is why I go to Japan and walk around and say, hey there, Mr. Shintoist, Merry frickin' Christmas. God is gonna kick your ass, you infidelic pagan scum. In case you haven't noticed, there's festive things to do, so let's all rejoice for Jesus and Merry frickin' Christmas to you. On Christmas Day, I travel around the world and say, Taoists, Krishnas, Buddhists, and all you atheists too, Merry frickin' Christmas, Merry frackin' Christmas to you. So today is not really, this month is not really the birthday of Christ. Today is actually the birthday of Christopher. Christopher Lyne's birthday is today. Where's Chris? He's in the back there. Chris Lyne is one of the attorneys here at FFRF and one of our very capable photographers. And he's starting piano lessons, and next year he'll be doing the concert, I think. So does anyone else have a birthday today or tomorrow? Is anyone else celebrating here? Well, at least we can sing happy birthday to Chris. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. Susan Hofer is a Madison area vocalist. Susan was trained as a classical clarinetist, but she fell in love with jazz. And you might have heard some of her CDs or heard her singing around town. And if you've listened to FFRF's musical CD, Adrift on a Star, you've heard her voice on a couple of the songs there. Poor Little Me, and It Ain't Necessarily So. So let's welcome Susan Hofer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Christopher birthday and all things natural. I'll have my tea here with you, and so I'll just say cheers right off the bat to all of you who have joined for this very sweet little celebration today. So, as Annie Laurie said, we're here to celebrate things that are natural in the natural universe, like the sun, the moon, the stars. But I happen to have a special affinity for the moon, and so maybe there's a little magic in it, maybe. Ooh, ooh, what a little moonlight can do to you. Ooh, ooh, what a little moonlight can do to you. You're in love, your heart's a fluttering all day long. You only stutter 'cause your poor tongue just will not utter the words, I love you. Ooh, 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 what a little moonlight can do to you. Wait a while till a little moonbeam comes seeping through. You'll get bold, you can't resist her, and all you'll say once you have missed her is what a little moonlight can do. Thank you. What a little moonlight can do.
The moonlight feels like magic sometimes when you're in love and that. But really, we do live in a natural universe. I guess we instill it with a kind of, what do you call it, a poetic naturalism or something about the beauty of living. But our universe is governed by purely natural laws. And here's a love song that I wrote that recognizes the real world. And it's on our CD, Adrift on the Star, that Susan sang on the CD, and she's going to sing it for you today. It's only natural.
Thanks to Galileo for showing us our humble place in outer space. And thanks to Mr. Darwin for showing us the origins of the human race. Which means that our precious romance is mainly a product of chance. And these feelings of love so frenetic are just genetic. It's only natural that I would want you. It's only natural that you want me. A million years of evolution had its way, so we can blame it on our parents' DNA. I move instinctively in your direction. Somehow you signal me to turn and see. You will always be my natural selection. As a voluntary choice, naturally. It's only natural that you would want me. It's only natural that I'd want you. A million years of evolution had its way. We can blame it on our DNA. I move instinctively in your direction. Somehow you signal me and see. You will always be my natural selection. As a voluntary choice, a voluntary choice, a voluntary choice, naturally. Thank you. Dan Barker's song. The composer is right here. It's only natural.
A lot of music was written by non-believers. We all know that. Classical and Tin Pan Alley and the Great American Songbook. George and Ira Gershwin were from a Jewish family, but they were totally non-religious people. They didn't even know the holidays. In fact, during the Jewish holidays, the mother, Rosa, would close the curtain so that the neighbors would not see that they were not celebrating the holidays. And Ira invited one of his school friends home one day for the Seder. He didn't know what he was doing. He put on a vaudevillian top hat, and he just made up some kind of a skit. And he said, "That's the Seder?" And he said, "Yeah, that's the Seder." But, and they really loved music, really. And they never wrote a single religious song, except maybe this is a religious song from Porgy and Bess.
Did you want to add a little something about the last verse, too?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, there was an encore verse that Ira wrote that didn't make it into the actual musical, into the actual opera, Porgy and Bess, but just in case there was an encore. And so you never heard this before. It's way back in 5000 BC, old Adam and Eve had to flee. Sure, they did that deed in the Garden of Eden, so why chastise you and me?
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
free thinking.
Yeah, we're going to give it to you even without an encore, so no encore needed.
What's your tempo here?
It ain't necessarily so. It ain't necessarily so. The things that you're liable to read in the Bible, it ain't necessarily so. Little David was small, but oh my. Little David was small, but oh my. He fought big Goliath, who lay down and dieth. Little David was small, but oh my. To get into heaven, don't snap for a 7. Live clean, don't have no fun. Oh, I'll take that gospel whenever it's possible, but with a grain of salt. Methuselah lived 900 years. Methuselah lived 900 years. But who calls that living when no gal will give in to no man? What's 900 years? The villain, it ain't necessarily so. Way back in 5000 BC, this is it. Well, Adam and Eve, they had to flee. Sure, they did that deed in the Garden of Eden, but why chastise you and me?
So Ira Gershwin was a very close friend since childhood of another well-known lyricist, Yip Harburg. They went to high school together. They worked together. They wrote a silly poetry magazine together. And Yip Harburg, of course, is the lyricist who wrote Somewhere Over the Rainbow and It's Only a Paper Moon and April in Paris and Finian's Rainbow. And Yip Harburg was an irreverent, non-religious wit that everybody loved to work with because he just broke all the rules. And he actually published some light verse, not just song lyrics, but he had a lot of simple kind of light verse lyrics that he wrote that were funny. And FFRF, along with his son, Ernie, published a book of Yip Harburg's light verse called Rhymes for the Irreverent. And here are a few of those rhymes for the irreverent. This is called Somewhere Over the Paper Moon. Let me get my lyrics here. Kind of important to do this with the actual words. Somewhere over the paper moon there sails a lyrical ship made of irreverent memories of a songwriter known as Yip. Lead kindly light.
Bishop Patrick crossed the street, an X now marks the spot. The light of God was with him,
but the traffic light was not. A nose is a nose is a nose.
Mother, mother, tell me.
Mother, mother, tell me, please. Did God who made the flowers and trees
also provide the allergy?
This one's called Federal Reserve. In 1929, when the banks went bust.
In 29, when the banks went bust, our coins still read, in God we trust.
And this one is called Three Bolts, No Strikes.
When lightning struck the steeple of the Church of San Jose,
it barely missed the brothel that was just across the way. Realist. For what we are about to receive, O Lord, 'tis thee we thank.
Said the cannibal as he cut a slice of the missionary shank.
Less majest.
It doesn't even matter how high or great the throne.
No matter how high or great the throne, what sits on it is the same as your own. Small comforts.
Before I was born, I seemed to be content with being unbeable.
So after I'm gone, it seems to me my lot should be not less agreeable. The man who has everything.
For a halo up in heaven, I have never been too keen.
Who needs another gadget that a fellow has to clean? Strike three.
A broken clock can tell the time correctly twice a day.
Astrologers, like broken clocks, are clairvoyant that way. Agnostic. No matter how much I probe and prod, I cannot quite believe in God.
But oh, I hope to God that He unswervingly believes in me.
Atheist.
Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. And only God who makes a tree, but also makes a fool like me.
But only fools like me, you see, can make a God who makes a tree. Somewhere over the paper moon there sails a lyrical ship made of irreverent memories of a songwriter known as Yip. So during this time of the year, we hear a lot of songs about the star that the wise men followed to the nativity. And many say that that's the reason for the season. Well, actually, a star is the reason for the season. The closest star to our planet is what? As the Earth tilts away from that star, we reach the shortest day of sunlight in the northern hemisphere. And a lot of Christmas music, is actually secular music that they put, holy words to. Well, two people can play at that game. This is called Solstice Tribute. O shining star of solstice time, your radiant hours are few. You turn and strike the New Year's chime. We owe our lives to you. These darkest days of winter, we miss your warming rays. But every year this hemisphere returns to brighter days. Since olden days the human race has feared your warmth would die. The evergreen is ever seen as hope we will survive. Oh, ancient drums stop beating and superstitions fall. It's time for reason's greetings, for peace, goodwill to all. So, January 1st is not really the beginning of the new year. Tomorrow, the winter solstice is actually the actual natural astronomical new year, which happens about 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. So actually, today is New Year's Eve. This is the actual real New Year's Eve. The calendar drifted and it would change and all that, but this is the actual moment right now. I get to play the piano at a lot of places, including during the holiday season, a lot of seasonal events. And so I have to play a lot of seasonal music. And there are very few seasonal songs that I musically really like. I mean, they're cute songs, but they're like not that interesting. But one of the few seasonal songs that I really, really do like, and I thank Frank Lesser for this. Frank Lesser wrote the song, and he was a non-believer also. We had his daughter on our radio show recently talking about New Year's, and this is one of my favorite tunes. You can sing the song any time of the year, which means it's better than just a seasonal song. It's called, what's it called, Susan?
What are you doing New Year's Eve? We already have the answer, though, because we're kind of all here together, so this is really what we're doing. And we're going to sing a song about it. When the bells all ring and the horns all blow, and the couples we know are fondly kissing, will I be with you, or will I be among the missing? Maybe it's much too early in the game, but I thought I'd ask you just the same. What are you doing New Year's Eve? Maybe it's just someone's gonna hold you tight when it's exactly 12 at night, welcoming in the New Year's. Year's Eve. Maybe I'm crazy to suppose I'd ever be the one you chose out of 1,000 invitations you'll receive. Up in case I stand one little chance, here comes the jackpot question in advance. What are you doing New Year's? New Year's Eve. Maybe I'm crazy to suppose I'd ever be the one you chose out of 1,000 invitations you'll receive. Oh, but in case I stand one little chance, here comes the jackpot question in advance. What are you doing New Year's? New Year's Eve. Oh, what are you doing New Year's Eve?
Thank you.
So, we're at the end of the concert, almost at the end of New Year's, and we traditionally end with the traditional Auld Lang Syne, which, by the way, was written, the poem, the lyrics were written by another freethinker. You know who wrote those words? Robert Burns, Bobby Burns, the Scottish, and of course Annie Laurie and Anne Gaylor have Scottish ancestry and like to think there's a connection there, and maybe there is. Some irreverence that goes way, way, way back. But you're welcome to sing along. Some freethinkers like to sing along and some don't, so whatever you feel like doing, because we're freethinkers, right?
You can make up your own lyrics.
So Susan's going to sing the verses, and then the chorus part, we can all join in if you like. What key are we doing this in? Key of D, okay.
Should an old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. And surely you'll buy your pint cup, and surely I'll buy mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet
try one?
Ooh, let's do it. We two have run about the slopes and picked the daisies white, but we've wandered many a weary foot since all lang syne. All lang syne, my dear, all lang syne. Take a cup of kindness for all
So, Merry Winter Solstice, Happy frickin' New Year, and enjoy the rest of the season.